thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming today. So, theme and variations. It's a fairly common and important compositional form where a composer states a theme, sometimes his own original theme, as is the case with the Stravinsky that we're about to perform, and sometimes it's based on a theme by other composers, as is the case with the Arinsky and the Brahms piece that we will play later on. But in the case of Stravinsky, this is his own original theme. But a few words just about the Stravinsky, because it's, in the case of the Stravinsky, it's the octet, it's not just about theme and variations. That is, in fact, the main form of, as you see in the program, the second movement. The octet is actually a quite unique piece in several different ways. First of which is just the complement that you see here. I don't think there's any other chamber music octet piece that involves solo trumpet, solo flute, two bassoons, two trumpets, and two trombones. So it's very unique. It's coming on the heels of Stravinsky's, very well-known and popular ballets, Firebird and Petrushka, and of course the revolutionary Rite of Spring. This piece is obviously a much more intimate work, and it's considered really the first piece that launches a compositional period of his called neoclassicism, neoclassic, new classic, which is when Stravinsky looked at old forms from the classical period, from 18th century, 19th century, primarily 18th century, and this piece is very much representative of that. So, in addition to the second movement, theme and variations, you have the first movement, which is very much sonata allegro form, kind of typical Haydn, Mozart symphony form, where you have an introduction, and then a first theme is stated, and then a second theme is stated, and then developed, and then there's a recapitulation. So, in the last movement, I digress a little bit. In the theme and variations movement, the second movement, it's not just theme and variations, it's also what we call rondo form, where a theme keeps repeating itself. It comes back 2 or 3, sometimes 4 times. Mozart did that a lot. As a matter of fact, people compare that theme and variations movement of the Stravinsky to maybe being inspired by the Mozart E-flat major piano concerto. He used the same kinds of techniques. In this particular movement, the theme and variations movement, you'll hear variations 1, 3, and 6 are that kind of repeated theme coming back. Stravinsky calls it his ribbons of scales, and you'll recognize that when it happens. So there's that. So there's the sonata allegro form. There's theme and variations. There's rondo form, and then that continues actually in the finale of the piece. And there's no pause between the theme and variations movement and the finale. It goes directly right into it. And I think the other kind of important overarching idea in this particular composition of Stravinsky is that it was not only kind of an homage to those earlier forms and styles and genres, but I think Stravinsky is poking a little fun at those older styles, as if to say, yes, I can write in those forms, but I'm going to do it with my own language and kind of transform it. And that, of course, is what composers are doing with theme and variations in the first place. They take a theme and they put it through a kind of metamorphosis of rhythm, of harmony, of orchestration, and then sometimes all of those things. And And that's really the compositional genius of this piece. So I think that's something to listen for and hang on to. There's a kind of sense of humor about this piece because it's a little tongue-in-cheek about past composers and past styles. Not in a condescending way, but in a way to acknowledge that, at least in the portion of the 20th century that Stravinsky was writing in, he's finding new ways to work with these old forms. So I hope you enjoy this piece. The last portion of the last movement almost has kind of like a jazz quality to it, or if not jazz, something out of like Broadway, maybe Stephen Sondheim. So listen for that, and I hope you enjoy this work.
Thank you.